Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. So NMAT cutoffs are out. So NMIMS has released its calls, and some of you must have got calls for the campus. And there is one test in it, which is Watson Glaser Test. A lot of you might be wondering what is this test? कि you लोगों ने पहली बार, in fact, most of you must have heard this thing for the very first time कि क्या होता है इस test में and how to clear this test. So watch this video to understand that what is this test, what does it test you on, and I will also share you some free resources from wherein you can practice these questions. So watch this video and don't forget to like the video. And if you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. This is the place where you get the best content for all MBA entrance examinations. So सबसे पहले कट ऑफ की बात करते हैं लास्ट ईयर इट वाज 232 इट हैज गॉन अप बाय 234 सो क्वांट की जो कट ऑफ थी वो लास्ट ईयर से थोड़ा सा बढ़ गई है 69 से 71 हो गई है रेस्ट टू सेक्शंस सेम so although for Mumbai and Mumbai HR the cutoff went up but if you see Bangalore and Navi Mumbai the cutoff went down from 225 last year 225 थी इस साल 222 हो गई है इनकी सेम रही है and digital transformation went down from 225 so more or less the cutoffs are on similar lines just that कि कुछ लोग क्वांट में सोच के गए थे कि इस बार लास्ट ईयर की तरह कट ऑफ रहेगी तो this time they increase the cutoff so some of you might have missed on one of the sections right so now let's talk about this section the second stage wherein you will have a written analytical test एंड इन दिस ऑल्सो यू विल बी गिवन सम केस स्टडीज ठीक है तो इसके बारे में भी मैं कुछ आपको कंटेंट दूंगा कि व्हाट आर द काइंड ऑफ केस स्टडीज यू गेट एंड देन देयर इज वाटसन ग्लेसर टेस्ट एंड पर्सनल इंटरव्यू सबको पता रहता है रिटन एनालिटिकल टेस्ट ऑल्सो पीपल आर अवेयर ऑफ की लाइक ऐसे लिखने को आता है एंड ऑल बट व्हाट इज दिस वाटसन ग्लेसर टेस्ट I'm sure some of you must have googled it and read about it. So in this video, I'm going to explain more about it and I'll give you some sources from which you can practice this Watson Glaser test. So Watson Glaser test is basically a critical thinking test. Okay, so जो आप critical reasoning करके आए हो तो वही चीज आपके इसमें आती है. Now don't think that it's a very difficult test. Okay, it is new, definitely it is new, you might not have done it but it is not that difficult. Last year also NMIMS had this. If your critical reasoning is decent enough you will be able to do well on this test. Okay, so last year we students घबरा रहे थे कि क्या होगा, how difficult will it be, but it was easy, it is not that difficult and I am sure अगर आपने NMIMS की कट ऑफ क्लियर की है तो आपकी critical reasoning अच्छी ही होगी because half of the test is just critical reasoning, right? So it is again a way of testing your critical thinking abilities. Now in this test it will be like some 30 to 60 minutes and there are five areas that they test in this. ठीक है तो five areas टेस्ट होते हैं उनसे कुछ कुछ क्वेश्चंस होते हैं so maybe like 50 60 questions 40 questions that depends on like institute to institute or company to company how much they want to test so कुछ questions होंगे set of questions covering these five areas. First is inference. I'm sure that you have covered this inference thing when you prepared for NMAT. So it is you have to draw some logical conclusions from the statements. Okay, so ये चीजें आप सब इनसे familiar होगी. You must be already aware of these things. Inference, assumptions. Okay, so there are some unstated assumptions that you need to figure out. Then you have to deduce something. Okay, so deduce is conclusion. You have to take out some conclusions from a set of premises. Okay, so deduction is basically concluding like you do in syllogisms, that is a deductive reasoning. Then interpretation. Okay, so you are given some information and you have to interpret out of it. And evaluation of arguments. So arguments in this you have to find the strength and relevance of arguments. So basically strong argument hai ya weak argument hai. I'm sure you must have gone through all these things in some form or the other while preparing for NMAT. अगर आपने critical reasoning किया तो definitely ये सब चीजें आपको आती होंगी. It's just that the format will be slightly different and they will give you some questions and you are supposed to answer them. Now I'm going to tell you some of the resources which you can use for practice. So I've the link of all these sites is given in the description of this video. ठीक है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे साइट का नाम है, उसमें आपको एग्जैक्ट लिंक मिल जाएगा, आप उसमें क्लिक करोगे, आप उस वेब पेज पे पहुंच जाओगे, देन यू कैन टेक दिस. सो देयर इज असेसमेंट डे, इट हैज 86 क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, 86 क्वेश्चंस इन 60 मिनट्स. तो 86 क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे, दैट शुड गिव यू अ good enough understanding. So you want to take these five categories: argument, assumption, deduction, inference, interpretation separately, or you wish to take at go, you can do that. Okay, so इसमें questions भी है and solutions भी है. Okay, so good enough repository to prepare for it, और it is free. So जितने भी resources बता रहा हूँ सारे free हैं. Second is lawyer portal. इसमें इतने questions तो नहीं होंगे, you will get some sample questions. Okay, so for all category you will get sample questions, and they have very beautifully explained that what should be the answer. Okay, so statement followed by inferences, and which would be correct in what case, right? So this is you can use for some sample questions. कुछ क्वेश्चन यहाँ मिल जाएंगे. Then you have the site job test prep. Okay, in this again you will get some sample question. So questions on all these kinds. So they will give you a case and then the questions. Right. So again you will understand through these questions that how it needs to be done. So the first link which I gave you, it has 86 questions. Understand the sample questions from different sources and take that test. That should be good enough for you to do well on the exam. It is not a difficult exam, you will be able to do good. And then there is one more site, Pearson Venue. इसमें भी कुछ sample questions and it has a PDF. Okay, in fact इसकी एक PDF है कुछ I don't know how many pages, some 10-12 page PDF. It is there. It has some exercises also. Okay, so it has some sample as well as exercises. तो कुछ around 15 odd page PDF है. That also the link is given in the description of this video. So go through these, and I'm sure that you will be able to understand it, because if you have cleared the cutoff, it is fairly good to assume that you must have a decent critical thinking ability. क्योंकि अगर critical reasoning poor है तो इतने भी आपके मार्क्स नहीं आते. Okay, so not to worry about, not a very difficult task. Focus on PI. क्या ये क्लियर हो जाएगा, सैम्पल क्वेश्चंस देख लेना, दैट विल हेल्प यू टू डू वेल ऑन दिस पार्ट. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट SOP है, SOP अच्छे से लिखना, 300 word limit they have given it. Okay, I'll create a video on SOP also, how to write SOP, and work on the PI part and the VAT part. So they will give you case studies and you have to write on those cases. So this was about this Watson Glaser test. I hope you got some understanding from it, and the links of all these tests are given in the description of this video. Try those tests, and hopefully they will help you prepare for this, and you shall be able to do well on this. Okay, so please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.